Hello, party people. How are you today, party people? Party, party. All the discords are dead. I was thinking about doing the big openings, but wait for wait for EQ to be here. Wouldn't feel right doing it without EQ, would it? Who the hell is V Breezy? Hell is V Breezy? You know what I'm saying? Who that be? Who that be, son? Not playing poker? We could play some poker. You know what? Just did a bunch of fucking laundry and shit. Let's get a couple quick games of poker in, huh? What's wrong with a little poker and YouTube? Our new favorite thing on this channel, poker and YouTube.
Right now, you're looking at the most powerful spot on a site, and if you're confused why, let me quickly explain. So as you can see, this spot right here in the door is actually the perfect off angle for everybody that is coming towards A on T side. If you don't believe me, let me quickly show you. So if I'm coming out ramp as a T, the first thing I'm going to check is CT, and then after that, I'm going to probably check this side of default, and then I'm going to think about checking under balcony. So let's go ahead and do that, and by the time I get here, you may have already realized something. I'm already dead to the person that was on that wall a long time ago. If anybody comes out towards Tetris here, I have a pretty easy kill on them because they're not going to be expecting me and it's just a headshot angle. But what if they come out palace? Well, what if they come out palace? Let's have a look. If I come out palace, you might think, oh, it's impossible basically to see you. They're probably not going to. And the person coming out palace is not going to be the first person to contact. One more thing that I saw that people didn't like about the spot is that you are very exposed to flashes. Everywhere here I can get flashed. Well, if you do, all you have to do is just get tucked into default while you're blind, and then once you're unblind, go ahead and try again. I want to show you a Molotov that's going to win you so many clutches, and it's really easy. So if you ever plant the bomb either right here at triple, maybe even here, or here on reverse default, there's a Molotov you can throw from ramp that's going to win you the round. So like I said, let's say that we're here, it's a 1v1, maybe it's a 1v2, and we're ready to throw the Molotov. You're actually going to quickly look for this white stain here, and you're going to run throw. The Molotov will bounce off of this thing that you did not know was slanted, and it will land to cover off these plant spots. So if anyone's trying to defuse the bomb in any of these spots, there's a pretty good chance they're not going to be able to. Now, again, the exception being this spot, but you're going to be able to peek it if you know that that is the spot that is planted. You're going to be able to peek it afterwards anyway, and sometimes it does spread that far out. So just keep that in mind. This Molotov is absolutely insane, and you definitely should know it if you're going to be playing Mirage. If you've ever been playing under balcony, there's this really annoying thing that can happen is if under balcony were to get mollied, you only have two choices. You either peek out and try to go for one before you die, or you smoke this molly, and when you smoke the molly, what happens is the entire under balcony gets smoked. So we can prevent this by this really cool smoke that I learned the other day, which is that if you are about to get mollied, you can actually throw a smoke on top of the balcony here that will spread down and cover off the molly and actually give you a little bit of room to still play under balcony. And it's a really easy smoke to throw. As you saw, I just threw it. So you could throw this as a preemptive measure as well. If you know they're about to molly, you can actually just come here and throw this smoke on top of the balcony before they do that. The way I personally have been doing it is I like to just stand on the right side of the ladder and left right click at the top of it like this, and the smoke is actually going to just, you know, come down and and cover off any potential mollies. So from their perspective, if they molly, obviously it's not going to work, and you still have all the room in the world to work with in case you want to try to play this and get some kills. So go ahead and try this smoke out. I think it's extremely useful and you can get a lot of value out of it. Does your stair smoke look like this in CS2? It gives you this really annoying smoke in the sandwich position, and it doesn't really cover off the top of stairs that well. Well, luckily for you, there's been a new lineup that's been discovered, and a lot of the pros have been throwing it on Mirage. And what it is whenever you come up here, you can actually stand like this on the left side of this pillar, and if you look straight ahead, there's a dot here. But you're going to aim to the white line above the dot, and you're going to left right click, which is a middle click for those of you guys that always ask in the comments. Hold both left and right click, and then you're going to jump though. What's going to happen is the smoke is going to take a nice bounce here, and it'll perfectly cover off the stairs, and it does not give you that really annoying sandwich smoke. And the best part about this is that since you're throwing this right here with your teammate throwing the jungle smoke, you guys are already close to ramp, and you can position, and it doesn't really cover off the top of stairs that well. Well, luckily for you, there's been a new lineup that's been discovered, and a lot of the pros have been throwing it on Mirage. And what it is whenever you come up here, you can actually stand like this on the left side of this pillar, and if you look straight ahead, there's a dot here. But you're going to aim to the white line above the dot, and you're going to left right click, which is a middle click for those of you guys that always ask in the comments. Hold both left and right click, and then you're going to jump though. What's going to happen is the smoke is going to take a nice bounce here, and it'll perfectly cover off the stairs, and it does not give you that really annoying sandwich smoke. And the best part about this is that since you're throwing this right here with your teammate throwing the jungle smoke, you guys are already close to ramp, and you can just easily go out as well with some flashes from your teammates. So go ahead and try out the stairs smoke or the jungle smoke if you just learned it right now. I want to show you probably the strongest Molotov on all of Mirage, and it's super important that you know this. So this Molotov's going to get default, firebox, and ninja, and it's very good to throw on A executes. So all you're going to do is as you're coming out of ramp, as soon as you can see this box right here, you're just going to aim above it to the height of this trim here and left click throw. The Molotov's going to land on top of firebox, which will spread to default, firebox, and ninja. Left click throw. The Molotov's going to land on top of firebox, which will spread right now. I want to show you probably the strongest Molotov on all of Mirage, and it's super important that you know this. So this Molotov's going to get default, firebox, and ninja, and it's very good to throw on A executes. So all you're going to do is as you're coming out of ramp, as soon as you can see this box right here, you're just going to aim above it to the height of this trim here and left click throw. The Molotov's going to land on top of firebox, which will spread to default, firebox, and ninja. So anybody playing any of these positions will be forced into the open, and it's a really important Molotov to know in my opinion, and it's super easy to just throw on your way out. Like you could be on your way on an execute, just take a second, throw the Molotov, and you keep going, and you just wait for everybody to run out because all of their spots have been mollied out. Let's say that there's somebody default. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a 1v2 for this guy on T side. But it's important to note that if somebody is standing back in default, you can actually see their head over default really easy. Like I just dinked him without a wallbang. I'll pull out the op so you can actually see if it's, see it a lot clearer. Very easy, so just keep that in mind if you're on T side or even CT side. You'll catch a lot of people that are doing this. Even the pros get kills on this, but that's not what I wanted to teach you. What I wanted to teach you was that if you're ever in a situation where you know somebody is avoiding you, maybe they're crouched, you can actually use these benches to see over triple here, and you can actually catch a lot of people off guard. Maybe it's a 1v1 situation and you're in this spot here. You can actually just patiently wait for this guy on default to outplay himself. So he's going to be like spotting you here, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the timing, and then I'm gonna peek to the left side, and then you're up on top of this part right here, and you catch him and you win the round. Make him look like an idiot because you watched Austin CS. One of the most difficult models could be getting. The reason this is so hard is because you can just aim right here and left click throw, and that's going to be a really easy Molotov. But the problem is that you might not be in this position every round because it's extremely difficult to cross without getting spotted. So instead you can throw it from over here. You're going to line up on this pillar like so, on this little line. You're going to put your crosshair at the bottom of where this corner comes in, and you're going to run and then let go when this flower is on the right of your screen. So if we do it, you'll see it looks just like this. And for those of you guys watching in vertical formats, you'll just have to take my word for it, go practice it, and the Molotov's going to land comfortably without any issues at all. I want to show you this really cool pop flash that I actually made in CSGO that I actually haven't talked about in CS2 yet, so let me quickly show you. Now, if you're ever retaking the A site of Mirage, what you can do is you can get stuck in this corner right by this trash can, and then you can aim straight up in the air. You can look for this line anywhere in this area and give it a left click throw. What will happen is the flash will bounce and perfectly pop in order to blind anybody on the site. Now, you might think that that flash is a little obvious and it's a little loud, maybe they'll hear it, but in the chaos of an A execute, there's a pretty good chance that they actually will miss this. And as you can see, it's pretty hard to see. It will blind firebox, it will blind default, it'll blind sandwich, it'll even blind somebody that's sitting here holding for you to swing out CT. And one more thing that it will blind that I didn't mention is if there's somebody posted on you with the op from Apex, it'll also get him too. A while back, I made a a video on the easiest window smoke for Mirage, and at the time the lineup was something like this. If you've seen the video already though, stay tuned because I'm going to show you why this lineup is not that good. So the smoke lands in window as expected, and of course the problem with this window smoke is that there is a new meta nade to throw, which is when you get into this corner here and you jump throw the nade, it'll actually blow open the smoke where these CTs can then peek you. So the pros came up with a new lineup out of spawn that you can use that the nade does not work on, and it's like this. So out of spawn from the same spot, you're gonna get stuck in this corner, but now you're gonna aim this high in the air, do the same thing as before. You're gonna hold D and jump throw, and when that happens, the smoke is gonna fly through the air, and guess where it's gonna land? All the way in towards window. But the one main difference is that now when you throw this nade, the smoke will not get blown up, so you cannot get picked. One of the new metas in CS2 is to give yourself one ways by shooting holes in the smoke, and the most common example of this is in window on Mirage. If you get a nice window smoke, by the way, my smokes are pink, just ignore that. If you get a nice window smoke that lets you stand on top of here, you can actually shoot the corner here of the smoke, and you get a big hole, and if anybody's top mid, you will be able to kill them. It's best to do this with the A1S because you don't actually have tracers, and because of that, it's very hard for them to see without looking at the back wall here when you're shooting. So they might walk out, there's going to be a hole in the window smoke, and you can get an easy kill. Another really good example of this is in connector. If you throw a connector smoke that lands on the stairs, that is, you can get a way to do this by shooting right here, and if anybody comes out, you can easily see them. If you're ever in window and you need to get out a site, maybe it's a retake, there's actually a sneaky flash that you can throw, which is actually if you throw it off of the corner of this wall here. As you can see, by doing that, it will actually bounce off of the wall and it will blind anybody that's holding you from sight. Now, if you don't run through and you just give it a simple left click, what will happen is the flash won't go that far and it will actually blind anybody from Palace or from default that could be holding you. As you can see here, the flash will perfectly blind off Palace just long enough for you to sneak out. You can even use it as a smoke to get out of jungle. Let's say that Opera is on you again and you need to get out. There's a little smoke. There's also another slant right here on Cat that you might not know. As you can see, this wall is slanted, which means that you can bounce flashes to blind somebody Cat. You can bounce mollies, you can bounce smokes. All of these are really good, and I highly recommend that you do this. If you're a Cat player on Mirage, I actually know a trick that you absolutely need to know if you want to win more games. Let's say we've made our way into ladder room. If they know we're here or not, it doesn't really make a difference. But once you're up here, if you can actually get this vent broken, maybe you broke it in the beginning of the round or your teammate broke it, what you can do is you can actually sneak down on top of these bricks here, like I have the bot placed. And when you're here, you have a lot of options. Now, it's silent to get down, so you don't have to worry about them hearing you, and you can actually catch them off by holding some insane off angles. So let's say I just want to wait for somebody to walk into bottom con. Well, I can do that because when they're ready to walk in, they're going to be dying from something that they didn't even know existed. Or maybe somebody did see you go into ladder room. Maybe they're holding from you. Maybe they're holding from chair. Well, what you can do is if somebody's there, you can drop down onto these bricks, get the kill on the person holding you, and then jump back into ladder like it never happened. One of Mirage's biggest secrets is these boxes, and I'm not really sure why they exist, but in CSGO I did actually have a theory that I'd like to restate for CS2, and it's that I think these boxes are supposed to be used on T side. Now, the reason I think that is because if you've ever tried to use these boxes on CT side, you probably didn't get very far. This spot is not very good. But on T side, it's a little bit different because the map flips, and now you're on defense for looking this way instead of that way. So because of that, what you can do is you can get a teammate to boost you up here. Now, I know that might seem like pulling teeth in your regular matches, but if you're able to get a teammate to boost you up here, you can actually use this spot to hold everywhere. If you want to hold towards short, as you can see here, I can use this really insane head glitch in order to hold people coming from short. Will look for you, and well, they're not going to get very far because they're not going to expect you up there. And because of that, you might think, Austin, this spot's actually not that good because I can get seen from market. That is technically true, but if you're up on top of this angle, hopefully if you know that they can be peeking you from here, you will instead play on this side because that spot is just as good, and if they jump out market, they're as good as dead. One of the most commonly missed Molotovs in CS is actually the Van Molotov towards B site on Mirage, and you might be wondering, what do I mean by that? And there's a lot of people who actually have been throwing this Molotov wrong and they don't even realize it. For example, one of the most common examples I see in a lot of my pugs is when people throw the Molotov like this. If you don't know what's wrong with this molly, allow me to show you. The Molotov doesn't even land Van at all. It actually slips right past this little window here, and it doesn't do anything. Another example of somebody missing the Molotov is when they end up in the back corner here, and sometimes they don't spread all the way up, and it lets people still play in this close cubby here, which could be well, problematic. So let me show you the actual best way to throw it, which is to find this part of the wall, as you can see where the white and the red intersect up there, and you're just gonna run through. Not that you necessarily need a lineup for this, but just make sure that you don't miss this in your next Mirage game. If you're the sorry soul that always gets stuck anchoring B on Mirage, let me quickly show you the best way to jump spot. That way you never give up an annoying op pick again. Now, it's pretty boring, but it's also pretty easy. So whenever you're ready to jump spot, you're gonna pull your knife out or maybe a piece of utility, and you're going to hold A and strafe in jump. Basically, it's just jump spotting. But the trick is you always want to jump in the middle of this wall here. That way you give the least amount of info to the other team. That way you don't give them a chance to get a pick on you. Now, if you know that they already know that you're there, maybe you saw somebody, there's another jump spot that you can do, which is from back here by this box, and you do the same concept.
Hi, guys.
When we're looking through those windows. If I stop at the top here, you can actually see right through.
What's going on, hey?
The best part about this one is that if they are coming, we're already heading this way anyway, so we can find a good spot to hold the sight from. And as a bonus, let me show you something you can throw if you do see somebody in apps. If you see somebody, you can throw this, this defensive smoke, which will allow you to play a cool spot. If you've ever wanted to rush B, you can actually throw both of these arch smokes if you have one teammate.
All right, enough mirage.
The other thing I want to keep that in mind. With those two being added back into the map pool, it's important for us to get a refresher on all the smokes that we used to use in CS. Let's go.
Yeah.
Starting with the Xbox smoke. So, of course, if you want to smoke off Xbox, all you're going to have to do is out of spawn, you're going to find yourself in this corner. You're going to aim at this stain, super easy, and then just jump throw. And what you'll get is a smoke that flies through the air, bounces off of this step right here, and then lands and smokes Xbox. But I could do you one better because there's actually a way to throw it a little bit faster if you're a more experienced player. And of course, if you get a spawn that's close to a mid right here, what you can do is you can line up very quickly on the edge of this wall, find your crosshair in the bottom left part of the window, and then jump throw. It's a very loose lineup, and most of the pros use this one instead of the one I just showed you. It works, it lands a lot faster, and it's definitely good. I want to talk about one of the smokes that they're throwing specifically, which is the mid-door smoke. Because instead of throwing the Xbox smoke, they're throwing a mid-door smoke from spawn, and I'll quickly show you the lineup that Mouse is using. So what they'll do is they'll have their player who has the closest spawn immediately will get stuck in this part of the railing right here, and he will aim to the right of this box. There's a little stain there. And of course, when you're ready, you're going to give it a regular jump throw. Now, what's going to happen is the smoke is going to bounce off of the ramp in mid, and it's going to land to perfectly smoke off mid doors. And since it lands in the correct spot, it will actually spread up to cover this annoying gap at the top. So you won't have to worry about any of the Alpers peeking over the smoke, and it's just a pretty good solution. The thing that's also really good about this smoke as opposed to an Xbox smoke is that it gets rid of all of those annoying angles that people can potentially play around the Xbox smoke. What you're looking at might be the new meta for Dust 2 going into CS2, and if you're confused on what this is, I'm going to quickly explain what it is and how to throw it. So, in CSGO, we had a smoke that we called the hinge smoke, which was a smoke that would be thrown like this. It would land on top of the hinge, and because smokes would go through walls in that game, it would go through the wall and cover off the jump to Xbox like this. Now, of course, that's no longer possible in CSGO, but what is possible is to throw a smoke on top of the doors that will spread.
Get out of here with your bullshit.
Now, in order to throw this smoke, you're going to line up like this on this wall here. Now, you're going to remain crouched, and you're going to turn around and look for this line in the door, aim up to the height of this, and you're going to give it a right-click jump throw. And when you do that, the smoke will land on top of the door, and it will actually spread down to cover it off, giving you something very similar to the hinge smoke in CSGO, actually better than that. And yeah, there you go. There's the new smoke. I guarantee we're going to be seeing this in pro matches. If you want to go B site, you might need 2 smokes, and I want to show you a very easy way to smoke off B door and, of course, B window. All you're going to have to do is when you want to smoke B door, you're going to line up on this lock like this. You're going to put your crosshair in the window, very reminiscent of the Mirage Stairs smoke. And once you find your crosshair like this, you're just going to left click, and that's going to give you a perfect B door smoke. But while that one's being thrown, you can also tell a teammate to throw the window smoke, and this one's super easy. All you have to do to throw window is you're going to line up in this corner outside in T-spawn. With the removal of the skyboxes, this is now possible, of course. And whenever you're here, you're going to aim at the top dot like this, and then jump throw. This smoke is very cool because it uses the new CS2 smoke mechanic, of course, to smoke off the window, as well as any potential boost. As you can see, the smoke will spread down, and when paired with the door smoke, you have a B execute on your hands. New Vertigo is officially out, and of course, with that comes the need for new smokes. So I want to quickly show you the new meta smoke for elevator, as well as the new meta smoke for the middle of site, and we're going to get right into it really quickly. So the first one is actually thrown from sandbags right here. You're going to line up on the corner. Once you've done that, you're going to stand. Look for this part of the wall here and give it a jump throw. That's going to land in elevator, but the other smoke is even easier. So if you remember the original smoke, you would throw it like this. For this one, you're going to stand in the same spot, and you're going to look to the height of, or to the middle of this bar, just like so, and left click. Now, when you throw both of these, you're going to have the new smokes for executing the A site. So get out there, try these out, and let me know how it goes for you. In case you guys are wondering, these are the ones that Complexity and Mouse Sports were using in the first event in IEM Dallas. In the endless battle of CS2 versus Shadows, there is another one that you should probably know, which is that if you ever try to walk up this side hall tarp, there is a shadow that shows through the wall if you get too close to it. And as you can see here, there is a guy standing behind the wall here. That's what
oh
this
shit!
is. It's
oh
very easy to
shit!
see. It's it's not normally there. Here's the person, and let me come back here and make the bot go away, and the shadow goes away too. So if there's anybody creeping up this side hall at all, you will be able to see them. So as you can see, anywhere that my shadow shows on this yellow part, I can get spotted. So if I'm standing here waiting for somebody to peek me, as you can see here, there is a little bit of a spot right here in the grate, which means that there's a person there, and actually the closer I get, you can see that it actually moves. So if I know he's here, that means I can spam him through here without him even giving away any sound cues, any audio cues. He just walked in front of my shadow, and I don't really think that that's a lot of fun or very fair. Now the one thing is that you can avoid this if you creep up on the right side here, but your angle is really bad going up side hall. A long time ago I talked about how the white pillars on Vertigo are completely spammable, and it seems like Valve must have heard me because they are all patched up except for this one on headshot, where if you have an op and you think that there could be somebody headshot, you can actually spam right through here and potentially kill somebody hiding there. Now if you hit them in the head, it will actually do 200 damage, which will actually instant kill somebody. As you see here, he has full health and armor, and it could be really good. Situationally, of course, this could actually win you around. If you know that there's somebody stuck there, you can try to kill him by spamming, mollying, any of that, and it's really effective. Now it's also important to note that this does work both ways. So if you're a headshot and you think that there's somebody hiding, maybe right here, you could even potentially spam that guy just by spamming like this. As you can see, another one that does 200 damage. Lots of potential for this spam. Everybody's favorite spot to hide on Vertigo is sandbags right here on the A side, but if I told you that it was possible to get spammed while you're crouched here, would you believe me? Well, you better believe me, because it is 100% possible to get spammed here, and let me show you what the pros do. So if you ever find yourself here on T side clearing out the map, you actually might notice that underneath the sandbags there is a wood pallet holding them up, and wood in CSGO is completely spammable, which means that if you shoot through the bottom of the wood here and hit their feet, you actually will be able to do damage to them, and it's a pretty decent amount. So if you look here, we line it up, look at that, I did 20 damage on these people that are hiding sandbags, and even if you don't get a kill, which let's be honest, it's not very likely, you will always be able to see the blood on the wall if you do hit them. So before you get up close, you will actually be able to say, I did shoot him, and you could maybe nade it after that, you could maybe molly after that. There's a lot of opportunities, and it's one better if you have the op, because if you get into position, you actually can sometimes see them through the bottom, and you could get a free kill. I want to quickly show you how to smoke this room off, and kind of how I think that the map will play. So it'll be from the same spot as before. This would be where you would throw the normal left side smoke with a jump throw. This will smoke off the left side, but now if you get a teammate to drop you a smoke and you aim right here where the tarp meets the wire and give it a left click and right click throw, remember that is middle click, hold both and let go at the same time, you will get a perfect elevator smoke. So if you do both of these at the same time, you'll pretty much have Vertigo how it used to be. I want to show you the new AXX smokes that all the teams are using at the major, and what it looks like is that the smoke that throws is, well, thrown from ramp that lands on top of headshot, and of course the same left side smoke as always. But the point is that now with this new smoke, nobody can see you from heaven, so it makes crossing a lot safer, and as well as people can't jump up headshot and kill you. So let me show you the smokes. That's what you want to see. Now the left side smoke is the same. It's in the corner of these sandbags, aiming right here, jump throw, easy peasy. But the other smoke is brand new, and what you're going to do is you're going to find this part of the wall here. Now it is a little bit difficult, but just remember it's in the middle here, and you're going to line up on this shadow, and you're going to aim at the corner of this part of the building, and then you're going to left click though. That's going to be your new right side smoke that you can try, and it's going to bounce up and land on top of headshot. Super easy smoke, and of course it does make that smoke wall that we talked about. So if you combine them together, you're going to get the new Vertigo meta. If you find yourself sitting behind the ramp smoke, that is very annoying. So let me show you a really good nade that you could throw that can make the ramp smoke go away for a second. So right here, if you stand in between this wood and this part of the wall, you can find the vents on the ceiling here, and you can aim like this, and then you're going to do a left and right click throw. That is a middle click. You're holding down both mouse buttons at the same time, and then once you let go of both at the same time, the nade will land perfectly in the middle of the smoke and blow it up. So let me show you what that would look like. So let's say